The sun shone brightly on Camp Crystal Lake. It was a beautiful day for a party. The new counselors were excited to start their summer jobs.
Hey, pass me that hot dog, will ya?
Sure thing, Andy. This is going to be the best summer ever.
You bet. I can't wait to hit the lake later.
Don't forget the volleyball game. We're gonna crush it.
And don't forget the scary stories around the bonfire tonight. I've got a really good one.
Andy, Tiffany, Fox, Adam, and Merlin laughed and joked as they set up the picnic tables. Music blared from a boombox. Hot dogs and hamburgers sizzled on the grill. The counselors spent the afternoon playing volleyball and swimming in the lake. They told scary stories and roasted marshmallows around a bonfire. As the sun set, they went to their cabins. Everyone was exhausted from the day's activities. They fell asleep quickly, unaware of the danger lurking in the woods. Little did they know that this was only the beginning of a nightmare. The next morning, Andy decided to explore the woods. He had always been curious about the old abandoned camp across the lake. Legend said a boy named Jason had drowned there years ago. Now it was said that Jason, or his ghost, still haunted the camp. Andy wanted to see for himself.
I have to check this out. I can't believe those stories are true.
He hiked through the dense trees. The air grew heavy with the smell of pine needles and damp earth. Soon he came to a clearing. There, in the middle of the clearing, stood a dilapidated wooden shack. Andy cautiously approached the shack. He peered through a crack in the boarded-up window. Inside, he saw a dusty old sweater hanging on a hook. Below it, on a shelf, sat a rotting human head. Andy gasped. He knew instantly whose face stared back at him from that shelf. It was Mrs. Voorhees, Jason's mother. As he backed away in horror, the shack door swung open with a creak. Standing in the doorway was a towering figure wearing a hockey mask. Andy didn't even have time to scream. Hours passed. Andy didn't show up for lunch. At first, no one was too concerned. They assumed he was still exploring the woods. But as the day wore on, Tiffany and Fox started to worry.
This isn't like Andy. We should go look for him.
Yeah, let's retrace his steps. Maybe he got lost or something.
They set off into the woods, following the same path Andy had taken. They called out Andy's name, but there was no answer. The forest seemed to swallow up their voices. The feeling that something was wrong grew stronger with every step. Tiffany and Fox stumbled upon the clearing. They saw the shack, its door hanging open like a gaping maw. And then they saw him, Andy, or what was left of him. He lay sprawled on the ground, his lifeless eyes staring up at the sky. Blood stained the ground crimson.
Oh my God, Andy.
No, this can't be happening.
Tiffany screamed. Fox cried out in rage and grief, but their cries were cut short. A figure emerged from the trees behind them. The last thing they saw was the glint of a machete raised high in the air. The remaining counselors were terrified. They knew something terrible had happened to Andy, Tiffany, and Fox. They had to get out of Camp Crystal Lake.
We need to leave, now.
I've got the keys to the camp van. Let's go.
They piled in, their hearts pounding with fear. The van lurched forward, tires spitting gravel. They sped away from the campsite, the dark woods blurring past the windows. They thought they were safe. They were wrong. They didn't notice the dark figure in the back of the van, hidden from view. They drove all night, eventually reaching the bustling streets of Miami. They thought they had outrun the nightmare. They parked the van in a junkyard and stepped out, relieved to be in civilization.
We made it. We're safe now.
Finally, we can breathe easy.
But as they celebrated their escape, the figure from the van emerged. The machete flashed under the Miami moon. Their screams echoed in the junkyard, a final, chilling testament to the horror of Camp Crystal Lake. No one escaped Jason's wrath.